What is up, you guys? This is SpaceKryptonite here to bring you another How to Get Out of Bronze episode. Today, we're going to be using a rail. Yeah, that's the name, rail. Created by None. 0119 can be found on the CRF currently. It's the meta shift. So, with rails getting the buff, we're going to see how well we can do. Missiles, not so much. We're probably not going to use it. Maybe not. Maybe. So just so you know, I am currently bronze 4. I actually played off camera because I was trying to record. Recording was messing up, so I managed to make it to bronze 4. But anyways, primarily focusing meta shift. Let's see how we do with rails. I'll be honest, I am not a rail gunner. Alright, so let's talk meta shift. Right now, what is currently the meta? The meta is rail and missiles. Rail and missiles. Now, this gameplay is actually pre-recorded because Yoshi likes talking. He loves talking, and he keeps wanting to say hi. So I can end up cutting it out if he ends up talking. That way, you guys can watch peacefully, I should say, not have your ears bleed because of Yoshi. Anyways, meta shift. The reason why we're gonna be using a rail is because it's easy to dismantle other weapons. You'll see it throughout the match. I mean, it's fairly easily to dismantle enemy bots, make them kind of vulnerable. That bot right there ends up being very vulnerable. I end up shooting him too much. A lot, I should say. I shoot him too much. But we are still going to try to focus on tower control. But the main talk is meta. Missiles, the reason why I'm thinking if I should do missiles is because if I use missiles, I have to be a flyer. If you could be a ground unit as missiles, but currently a lot of people are aware to dodge missiles you need to be behind terrain, and that's the issue. When you're a ground unit, there's no way I am gonna go halfway across the map just to go around the terrain. There are other techniques. I've seen a bot, oh my goodness, I've seen a bot do a mortar technique. He like puts his arrow rods straight up so his camera view's all high and have the missile shoot backwards. I think Tommy Fox, he did a perfect example in his recent gameplay video where he instead of shooting directly, turn away and you shoot the opposite direction so that the missiles end up going upward more instead of straight, which is kind of cool. Yeah, there's a lot more to it than rail. I myself am not a railgunner. It's not a railgunner. There's a lot of other people that are a lot better than shooting than what I do. But I do end up getting a lot of good shots and dismantling some good weapons off of enemy bots. On the map right now, you can tell that my team hasn't pushed for the first tower. I end up not realizing it until we end up losing it. But the idea is this: you cannot like expect your team to do everything for you. You can rely on your team sometimes, but it's not guaranteed that they're gonna end up doing exactly what you want them to do. They're not MLG experts, even though MLG players end up messing up a lot too. Okay, not messing up a lot, I should say. I take my word back. One of the threats was the missile launcher, the one I just shot at. He's one of the threats that ends up holding my team back. That end up realizing that my team was actually behind the hill, and you can kind of see on the map where they're at, behind the rocks. And that missile launcher, of course, lock on, and you end up getting shot at. Ends up being hard. But I end up trying to focus on him because I'm like the target. You have to target the right enemy right time. It pretty much helps your team zero out that enemy as being a big threat. The reason why, I don't know why. Okay, I try to shoot this tower as if I'm going to shoot the right direction. I'm shooting the wrong direction. The guy clearly sees the red line. I'm not even shooting the red line. Hashtag don't follow space when you're trying to shoot towers, I guess. Taking out weapons, of course. Of course, do your best to take out weapons if you're a railgunner. Movement parts are not a thing that I would focus on unless the guy is like running away and he's not shooting at you. There are players that will do that. They'll run away and not shoot at you. Go for the movement. You're not gonna end up dying to him because he's not even focused on trying to kill you. He's not. There goes this railgunner, and you'll see it. You'll see the movement of this railgunner. When I say movement, his place on the battlefield end up shifting because of what I am currently doing. He ends up moving more towards his base. And by that ends up helping my team. Like right now, that guy's capturing the tower. Everything's going good. And that missile launcher is forced to retreat. We don't end up, I don't think I end up getting killed. Someone else does. But the purpose of it is eliminate threats. Try to zero in on those enemies that are really annoying you. Right now, missiles are really annoying. Rails are quite annoying. And some people probably already felt the power of rails when you're flying. And still, he's still shooting. He's still shooting at one of my guys. I think he killed him. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. And here goes my awesome aiming skills as a railgunner. Thank you very much. Yes, very awesome. Very awesome indeed. And of course, I end up being in the middle of in between the rocks. I end up being in the middle, thinking that that missile launcher wasn't going to be there. But luckily, I was able to move away just in time to actually save myself. I would have easily died if I was like a minute longer out there, especially with that SMG. And I would encourage you, if you are getting shot by a missile launcher, don't try to go back out there unless you're guaranteed that, hey, I'm going to do a lot of damage to this missile launcher. Yeah, it doesn't work out so well if you try to go in there half health. On the map right now, you can see that bottom right, there is a guy capturing the tower. Doing a great job. Still at one, we still have one tower, but as long as we can eliminate threats, it does kind of help our team with having zero pressure. If we can have them have no pressure, a lot more teammates will feel motivated to move forward. Talk about motivation, that's pretty much what it is in Battle Arena. Ever gotten into a match and end up being like, well, my teammates feel horrible. They're dying every single time. Then they end up DCing. Well, that's because they weren't motivated to win. They were motivated to leave because, well, they're just getting wrecked. I mean, it's the basic idea. And that ends up having a lot of people DC. So you want to try to make sure your teams aren't. I mean, you have no control over who DCs. But for the majority that feels like there's no hope in winning, yeah, they're going to DC. They're going to DC for the fact that they're not gonna spend their time. They're not going to spend their time in a match when they know they're going to lose. So, I mean, you'll see the same thing throughout the match, shooting and destroying and trying to pressure them, trying to force them to stay in their base or stay in respawn. The spot's not the greatest at moving around from the missiles. It's too bulky and big, so gets shot at a lot by missiles. And you'll actually see one of the mistakes I end up doing. I end up doing a mistake. It only because I was thinking I was safe, but I really wasn't. I really wasn't safe. And then the fight over there on the second tower, I'm not really too. I wasn't really too. Oh no, I was getting shot at during that time. Yeah, I was getting shot at. You'll see it. You'll see it. I'm getting shot at by missiles all the time. Missiles are strong. They apparently go through rocks. Yeah, and there was a reason why I don't know why I shot. That did and that's what ended up killing me right there. Right there. Cuz I end up shooting. There it goes. Running into a match with 2 rails. Then I reload and realize, "Oh, well, I only have 2 rails. I'm not going to be able to kill him." So yeah, that ends up happening. I end up trying to run away. My teammate with the missile shoots the other guy, but not the guy shooting at me. Which is fine. It's fine. You can die as much as you want, as long as you get a win. A win is a win. That's how it goes. And along with the meta shift, another meta shift is already coming. It's plasmas. Plasmas are get a buff. I don't know how much is the buff, but if that ends up doing it, we end up having to switch to plasmas. It's only because you end up having to deal with 2 options. You can either deal with taking down missiles and plasmas, or take down rails and missiles. I still find rails quite annoying. I feel bad for that guy. That's something I would do. I would try to desperately go for the reactor. There's no point of trying to defend the base. They already have 1 DC. It feels like it's the end already. That's something I would do. And that's something a lot of people did when the missiles were first introduced. They were OP on destroying crystals. So a lot of people base rush 4-man platoon, just missiles, and would win under a minute or so. It's quite scary. Hopefully it wasn't too dramatized. Too traumatized. Scarred for life that missiles just wreck. And now they're fine. Now they're better than they were. Well, they got nerfed, I should say. So they're not as OP as destroying. And there it is. We end up finishing. That guy's like, forget it. I'm just gonna stand here. And we end up winning the game right here. Not bad for me using rails. I keep having to say this. I'm not that good at rails. It's probably like my 4th time using rails. Not that good. I mean, okay. First person shooters are a different thing, I guess. I guess playing first person shooters is different. Anyways, victory. And the stats. High score. Wow, not bad. I end up having to think this out. It was like 14 assists, 6 kills. I end up not. Well, I guess one of the most damage. It did a lot of damage. Yeah, 2nd in place for damage. So it was actually pretty good. Pretty good match overall. This match in general, focusing on if you're using a rail, focus on the big guys, the guys that are threatening. Well, a threat, I should say, threatening. Focus on the guys that are a threat on the battlefield, and you can help your team end up securing a victory. So, I want to thank you guys for watching. Until next time, this is SpaceKryptonite logging out. I will catch you guys later.